also?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
they're
yeah. They're
also
training together.
that's bullshit. That what the fuck, Henry Cejudo? Come on, dog. You can't be doing that. That's
I sent
fucked
that to
up.
you right away. I was like, dang, someone's trying
Yeah,
to get up on your girl, Eddie.
I was legit upset for a second. Anyway, all right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Keyboard Warriors, presented by RipTheWarriors.com. It's myself, Fred Kirby, Jesse Bacaba, hanging out with you guys on this nice and cool Wednesday night. Probably colder for you guys. Anyway, so a lot of shit went down just today and yesterday. But we got plenty to talk about. We'll get to Connor. But kicking off the show right away, UFC 232. It is official. The rematch is on. Jon Jones against Alexander Gustafsson, part 2 for the title. Meaning Daniel Cormier, as long as the fight goes down, will be stripped of the title, which he actually predicted himself, saying he's probably going to be stripped of the title. So, Fred, Jones, whatever the word is for it, gets away from USADA cleared by this month. Obviously going to fight 232. What are your thoughts on on him coming back and the title fight itself?
I mean, look, man, I've made a big stink about John being a cheater and us letting him off too, lenient for what he's done. But here's the reality, man. He's coming back, right? So it is what it is. Am I excited to see the cute cocksucker fight? Yeah, I am. It pains me to say it. It's like fucking Tekashi 6ix9ine's new song. I like it. Hurts me to say it. Burns my soul. Am I excited to see Jon Jones fight Alexander Gustafsson for the second time? Fuck yeah, I am. I am extremely excited for that fight. It's a fight that we've all wanted to see. And quite frankly, what else is there at 205 for John? Let's keep it a buck. There's DC, but nobody wants that right now. We would like to see that trilogy, but a few things need to happen first. A la DC needs to win a couple more fights. And so does John at this point. Yeah, I mean, he gonna come back regardless. We could talk about him cheating. We could talk about him snitching. It doesn't really matter. It is what it is. The cute cocksucker's coming back. He's got a date. He's got a fucking dance opponent. It's a fight that we all wanted to see. So what the fuck, right? I ain't gonna come up here and start talking shit now. It's a good fucking fight. And quite frankly, it's a very dangerous fight for John.
Yep.
Alexander has next to nothing to lose at this point. Fight's coming at a perfect time for fucking him. He's gonna come in balls to the wall. We can speculate on how good Jon Jones really is. I make the joke, or I think Chael Sonnen has made the joke too. I probably stole it from Chael, to be fair. That the OSP fight is the only fight that we've seen John in where he was actually clean. We don't know that to be true, but we're going to find a lot of things out. Can Jon Jones beat Gustafsson and pass the drug test? Is he the guy that fought OSP without drugs? We'll find out.
Jesse, what do you think, man? I mean, Jon Jones out for a while. He'll have ring cage rust, whatever you want to call it, more than likely a little bit at least. But people call him the greatest of all, possibly the greatest of all time. What are you thinking here for this fight?
Why is it that I'm the one that's yelling? That's gonna start yelling. The king is back. Why am I the one? Shouldn't it be Fred over there? I get it that he hurt your feelings, Fred, but this is that ex-girlfriend that just gives it to you so good and so hard that when she comes around, you're like, it's all good, baby. It's all good. Come on.
Motherfucker, this is the ex-girlfriend that also gave you herpes, though. I mean, I know she's got some fire, though. The bitch burned us on the way out the door last time. I'm never forgetting that. I'll fuck her again. I'll fuck her. You understand me? I will watch, but I'm not happy about it. I'm ashamed of myself for it.
I think you guys just found the best way to explain Jon Jones coming back right there. That was the perfect way to do it.
And it's true. It's true. But we are all excited about this fight, correct? Like as soon as you get that text, right, Fred? You're like, well, all right then, whatever. Like, I guess I can let this slide by.
It's worth the herps at this point. I mean, it is. It's a good fucking fight, man. I can't hate on it. That's for sure.
And that's the thing. This is the best fight that they could have come back with Jon Jones. Like, had it been DC, I think we'd be robbing ourselves of this potential fight, because what happens if Jon Jones loses? We will never get to see Jon Jones in a rematch. Finally vindicate himself, except for DC. That just kind of didn't go DC's way both times. And I think Fred's right. After this fight, let's say Jones wins, I think the next logical thing is Jones DC at heavyweight. Just see how that, kind of sounds and feels, and imagine that John Jones is able to beat DC at heavyweight. That just makes him a double champ. That is just such a dominant force in two divisions that, I mean, it's going to be a while before anybody challenges that dude. So I'm excited about this fight. And like Fred said, I mean, we got burned on him going out last time, but I mean, I think we're all going to welcome him with open arms for this fight.
Real quick, in the YouTube comments, we had this guy come in to the show a couple of times last. Actually, came on last weekend at the end in the post fight show on Saturday. This guy, he calls himself Johnny Bones on YouTube. He says Johnny Bones, the rightful champion. So I guess we get the 205 chant back. All right, so that's kind of all we could hit on that one, right? Yeah, we're just waiting for it. So
yeah, I mean, listen, he's back. I am excited.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to just not acknowledge the fact that the fucker got caught cheating, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I was watching Luke Thomas talk about this just before he went live, and he was saying that, like, if you really, really feel that way, then prove it with your dollars.
Right.
All due respect, no. I do feel that way, but I want to watch the prick fight. I want to catch this rematch. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to not pay to watch it, but it is what it is, I guess. We just have to wait and see what happens at this point.
I like that.
Right. All right. Anyway.
By the way, can I just say that my boycott UFC 230 is over? Just because of what happened? We're all good. They settled up for me, so we're all good there.
We'll talk about it in a minute here, all right? Because I know you were going to boycott it. Now it's all good. But all right, let's actually talk about UFC 229 for a minute, for quite a bit actually.
Jesus.
Again,
oh God.
UFC 229, Khabib versus Conor. Khabib finishes him in the 4th round. By the way, anyone saying it wouldn't touch a neck crank has never been put in a neck crank. Go fuck yourself. So yeah, me and Jesse were talking about it before, but anyway, so. Obviously, he loses to that, and then the mayhem afterwards. Khabib throws his mouthpiece, at Conor's corner. Dylan Dennis called him. I think what was the thing? Someone said they called him a Muslim rat or dirty Muslim rat, something like
that. In between the rounds, he called him a Muslim rat or something like that.
Damn. So Dylan Dennis opened his fucking mouth like he normally does and says some dumbass shit, and then Khabib jumped over the cage and go whoop his ass. And mayhem, and everyone got crazy. Conor tried to follow. He was stopped. He smacked somebody. Then 2 guys jumped in the cage, smacked him up a little bit. And so the immediate aftermath was Khabib's check getting held, people getting arrested. Then they get released because Conor didn't press charges. And where we're at right now is that Dana White has said that absolutely, his word was absolutely not stripping Khabib of the 155 title. Nevada State Athletic Commission is allegedly trying to keep his entire purse, which is around $2 million, something like that, which is, my opinion is bullshit. And, now they're looking into going after Khabib and Conor for both their roles in the whole melee thing, all shit that went down. So, real quick, Raider says Khabib needs some thicker skin. I agree, but it's a different culture. It's not the kind of guy you fucking shit talking. He just, takes it like nothing. But real quick, Jesse wanted a minute to talk about this, right?
Yeah. Okay, quickly. We heard, and Saturday night pissed me off so much about people blowing up Brendan Schaub, saying, oh my God, he predicted this. He's the greatest predictor ever. He's so smart. Okay, you guys are all retarded. All right? At me. I don't care. My Twitter is down there. You're retarded. All right? And I'm not worried about it because you're too retarded to type in my Twitter account and misspell some insult at me, so whatever. But here's the thing, we all knew it's a volatile situation.
Yep.
We all knew that if emotions run wild, people are going to get crazy. But the truth of the matter is that the biggest thing that happened on Saturday night was Conor got beat, and then Khabib wanted to settle scores with another dude outside. Everything else, had those 2 things occurred, I don't think we would have seen so much of a chaos, so much of backlash. But we saw people just take initiative to try and jump in and do something else, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Listen, guys, now we've got Brendan Schaub over there talking about how Conor didn't look good, how, he's still the best. He's still the best thing for the sport. You know what? I'm done listening to that moron. And if you guys go to him for news, for breaking stories, for any insight, you guys are just as retarded as he is. That's all I gotta say. Go ahead.
They're gonna come after you not for the opinion, but for saying retarded like 18 times right there. That's what
That's
they're gonna
okay.
do.
You just say retard a whole lot.
Yeah, but it's all good. I got you. Anyway, Fred, what do you think about that? The whole fucking shit that went down.
Okay, what are we talking about? What we this is way too much. We have to. What are we?
All right, Fred. Have you seen the YouTube video made by? I wish I remembered the YouTube channel, Eddie. If you could find it, that has all the multiple angles, breaks down every single punch, every single thing that happened. It's pretty well done, actually.
And what the fuck? Is this Google Hangouts fucking up? We'll find out in a second. Like, I have this shit going down right on the side here. Let's see what goes down. Oh, yeah. They got kicked out for some reason.
What's up?
What happened?
I don't know. It just said that my connection died.
Yeah,
which
Fred
is weird.
Got kicked out too. Fuck the fourth wall, ladies and gentlemen. We don't give a shit here.
Hey, what's up, Google Hangouts? You hate us again.
I don't know what the problem is with this, man, for real. Frederick says, let's talk about Guts and Bones too. We actually talked about that at the very beginning, dude. And Raider says, Conor looked horrible during the fight, though. He looked awful during the fight. He had a few shiny moments, right?
Well, okay, look. Is it that Conor looked bad and we want to make excuses for him? Or is it the fact that it's been a while since he's been in the cage and somebody was putting pressure on him? Because that's what I thought was the most amazing thing, was that Khabib was in his face, striking with him in a department where everybody was like, oh, if Khabib stands with him, he's going to get knocked out easy. Ooh, and put money on that. And that didn't happen. Actually, what ended up happening was, as Fred would say, he got thunderstruck and put down. So it is a combination of the lack of him being in the octagon and fighting, but it's also that game plan that Khabib and his team came with was just such a smart strategy on how to stifle him from moving forward and being dynamic as he normally is.
Right.
But I would love to hear Fred defend him, maybe if he would like to defend him. But I don't think Fred is going to defend him. That's just what I think.
Fred.
All right, goddammit, I can't hear Jesus running his mouth. Can you motherfuckers hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Okay. What the fuck are we talking about? Are you guys back on the fight, or are we talking about the melee, or what?
All right, so right now we're talking about the fight itself. Jesse was saying about how, basically what Khabib's game plan came up. What people were saying before the fight was, if he goes standing, Khabib's gonna get knocked out. Goes to the ground, Khabib's gonna win. And Khabib actually stood with McGregor a little bit, even dropped him once, knocked him down, whatever you want to say. But what was your thoughts on the actual fight?
You know what my thoughts on this fight was? I'll tell you right now, my thoughts on this fight was. You guys remember a little fucking fight called Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman Part 1?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just me. I got shades of that with this fight. And I'll tell you why. In the first round, when Khabib first shot on Conor stuffed the takedown and had the ability to just push Khabib's head down and jump the fuck back. But you know what he did? He stuck his little fucking hand right up underneath his ass. And I don't know what he thought he was going to do. I think he thought he was going to engage Khabib in the grappling and end up on top of him. Really, really bad idea. I think that was the beginning of the end, to be honest. I think Conor was way too loose and comfortable. I think he did not take Khabib seriously, and he ended up on his back the whole first round. And then what did he do in the second round? He came out doing the fucking billionaire strut. And guess what happens when you keep your hand so low? And before all you goofy fucking cunts come out and say, Conor always keeps his hands low. I know, stupid. I've seen all Conor's fights. There was a difference this time. Just like Anderson Silva always keeps his hands low, right? There was a difference when Chris Weidman knocked the fuck out of him. I do not think that Conor took Khabib seriously until round 3. And you see round 3 was a little different. By that time, though, Conor didn't have the stank on his punches. His timing wasn't there. And believe me, all jokes aside, I'm not making excuses for Conor. He probably loses that fight regardless, stylistically speaking. But I do think that if Conor had fought in round 1 like he did in round 3. Keep the distance, throw your hands. Because listen, when the fight first started, what for me, the major difference was initially, what has Khabib done to his last 3 or 4 opponents? As soon as the bell rings, right across the cage, right at them. In this fight, as soon as the bell rang, Conor walked Khabib down. Khabib's back was on the cage. It was only like that for about 45 seconds, but I'm thinking, oh shit, this is right where Conor wants Khabib. Find your range and open up with the punches. Keep his back on the cage, fire off a kick every once in a while. And he did that until all of a sudden he fucking reached underneath him and decided to start grappling with Khabib. And I thought, what the fuck, Conor? That's a very Anderson or Fedor in his prime type thing to do, where I'll just go right into your wheelhouse. I'll show you how bad I am, Jack. I'll start wrestling with you. No, you won't. Bad idea. And then coming out slightly tired and slightly off step with your hands down low, he knocked the shit out of you. And that was definitely the beginning of the end. Now, he came out in the third round and looked kind of cute, but a lot of people were saying that Khabib took that round off, and I necessarily can't argue that point. Maybe Khabib did take that round off knowing he was going to put the gas on around 4. I still say Conor fought with a lot more urgency in that third round, and that was what was needed from him from the get-go. Now, would that have won him the fight? Maybe not. Probably not. But I think it would have been a lot closer. And the thing is, listen, just the same way that Khabib wants to grab Conor and drag him down and pull a little bit of that stank out, listen, Conor, newsflash, you want to knock the fuck out of him early and do the same thing to him. So his shots are less effective. If you get your fucking brain scrambled in that first round, the rest of the fight's a little different, right? We've seen it before. You're a black belt in BJJ. Each fucking shot takes down a belt loop, right? You know what I mean? Like he is a 10th degree black belt at grappling right in the beginning of that fight. If you knock the dog shit out of him, he becomes a red belt, or whatever the fuck the next step down is. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you hit him again, it gets a little less. So, that's my thought on the fight. I'm not making excuses for Conor. He lost fair and square, no doubt about it. I do think that he did not take Khabib nowhere near as seriously as he should have in those first 2 rounds, though.
Right,
damn. So Fred can't hear me.
Can you hear Jesse?
Oh, okay.
All right, cool. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, You know what? I agree with you, Fred, except for the fact that I think this whole thing of like, well, I can't go into his world and dominate in his world. I don't think Conor is dumb enough to believe that he was going to out-grapple him. But if you look at what happened, and I have to give all credit to Conor, what happened in that fight was his takedown defense was superb by comparison to what we had seen before out of Conor McGregor. Those takedown defenses and his ability to not absorb as much damage as Khabib wanted to is such a good thing for Conor, because that was a confidence builder, right? I mean, he knew he was going to get taken down. And his coach, if you saw it on Joe Rogan's podcast, their whole game plan was, we're not going to fight to get back up. We're going to stay in the position, and we're just not going to absorb damage. And he did that. He did that every single round. Khabib, we could all speculate. He took the round off. He got tired. Whatever, man. But the end of the day is that Khabib was not able to dominate, as everybody says, dominate every single round. He was effective, and he was great. He did not dominate because Conor McGregor was able to neutralize a lot of things that Khabib wanted to do. Did he still take the damage? He sure did, because he was working to stop what Khabib wanted to do. But he didn't get obliterated like, let's say, Michael Johnson, or what was the other fight against the high-level striker? Edson Barboza. Yeah. Do you remember that look that Edson Barboza had in the first round after he got punched a couple times?
It's like,
just shit. looking up at the clock and going like, oh my God, I've got 12, 13 more minutes of this. Like, let's just end this now. Conor never had that moment. So,
listen, I hang on Conor's nuts a lot, but that's the same look that Conor had in his eyes after Khabib got done breaking his jaw. I mean, it took him a little while longer to get that little 40-yard stare, but eventually he had that same fucking goofy glare in his eye, man. I mean,
right. But he was effective enough to stop what Khabib wanted to do. And what I was saying before you jump back on was that what was so impressive was Khabib's game plan is to me what stifled Conor, and I think what threw him off, because like you said, Fred, every Khabib fight we've ever seen, he runs across the cage, takes you down, just drags you down and starts putting a hurting on you. And he didn't do that. He stayed in his face. He stayed in the pocket. And Conor had many opportunities to put leather on his face. He just couldn't find those avenues to do it. And I think it's because of the way Khabib approached this fight. And he even landed some leather on Conor, which was pretty damn amazing in my opinion. Although people that say his striking has improved, I would say Jake Shields has still better striking than Khabib at this point. So.
Okay, well, you just ruined all your credibility with anything with that little cute comment there. I wish we had one of those fancy setups like fucking Robin Black or the most of them where we could play the segments from the fight, because I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I'm standing on the fact that when Conor reached between Khabib's legs and tried to pull that little cute reversal, that almost lost in the fight. He had the position to just shove his fucking head down and jump the fuck back. And I feel like it was quick, but in that moment, he was doing what he needed to do, man. Don't start grappling with Khabib at any cost. Like, I don't give a fuck. Push him down and get the fuck back and then throw your hands. I feel like if he would have just done that, this would have been different. Khabib got one takedown in the first round. And what the fuck are you talking about, Jesse? Just because he didn't get pounded out, he what the fuck? He laid on his back the whole time. I mean, he might not have taken a beating, but that's a 10-8 round, man.
Right. But what does Conor want to do? He wants to restart the round and put hands on him. And that was the game plan, though. And Conor they knew that.
Is not get put on his back for the whole fucking round. That's what he wants to do. He wants to punch the shit out of him. What he wants to do is not reach between his fucking legs. What's that called? A goddamn checking the oil? What's the fucking
oil check?
Oil check's the other. Well, sort of. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
It was like an oil check.
Never do that to fucking Khabib again in his whole entire damn life. I swear to God, I felt like that was just the worst idea in the world for him, man.
Fred,
Get the fuck away from him.
Fred, did you listen to Kavanaugh on Joe Rogan's podcast?
A little bit. I tuned in a little bit. Mostly, I heard fucking George Lockhart talking about fucking water and cells and shit.
Fucking ever.
That guy's pretty awesome and he's smart. But listen, what the whole game plan was to not spend energy fighting Khabib to get back up. Okay, because he said that they knew that he's so good at that transition when you're trying to get back up to break your base down and take you back down. And what did Conor do? Like I said, he stayed safe in those areas where he wasn't just like taking punches over and over and over again, you know? And that's the thing, though. I mean, that's a victory in itself of not getting obliterated in the first round like that or the second.
Okay, well, with the utmost respect, being the stoner shitbird ass fuck loser I am, I think that's a horrible idea. I think the energy should have been spent not getting put on the ground. Now, once you're on the ground, ride it out. You know what? Fuck that. No, don't. Fucking up. You know, Chuck Liddell shit back in the day, soon as he got put on his ass, he immediately started fucking. That's what we want. Fuck it. Waste your energy. I don't give a fuck. Do not lay down there and let that Dagestani prick suck your energy out and start beating the fuck out of you. Fuck that. Try your best to not go to the ground. And if you do land up on the ground, right then, start working to get up. Because let's keep it a buck, right? You're not going to submit him. You're not fucking Brian Ortega. You are certainly not submitting him. So what the fuck are we going to do? Try to ride it out till the next round? What if he gets the takedown? What if there's 4 minutes left, Jesse? What the fuck? You got 4 minutes to get the fuck up. You do not want to be stuck under Khabib for 4 fucking minutes for any of them rounds. That's a bad idea.
But that's how you're seeing it. But you have to think of the energy consumption it takes to get back up from a guy that's able to take you down. And then when you're in transition to get back up, he's able to break your base, take you down again, and do all those things. Because then you give him a better position when he's able to do that to you. How many times have we seen that he's leg riding somebody and then they're butt scooting to the cage, and then when they're about to get up, he takes down their base and then he gets into full mount. Then he starts really beating on them. Conor was smart enough not to do that.
Listen, that's cute. you know what we have here right now? We have the ability to have hindsight. And you know what happened when they used his fucking strategy? Fucking Nathan. He laid down there. He didn't get up. Came out in the second round. Fucking rinse, wash, repeat. Like, yeah, okay, I dig what you're saying. Conserve the energy. The energy still didn't conserve. He still ran out of gas, and he still got submitted in the fourth. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying, at this point, fuck it. Blow your load in the first round or two. Fuck that. If you beat me, you go ahead and beat me at the end of the second or the third. I'm not going to prolong a bad experience. Hypothetically, all bullshit aside, if I'm Conor and I get this fight again, I'm fucking coming out aggressive. I'm coming out, not crazily so, but I do not want to engage you in the grappling. I want to find my distance, and I want to let my fucking hands go. Both of them. All the time, fast and furious, maybe a kick here and there. If you try to grab me, jump the fuck back, circle away. Don't get your hands on me. Keep it a striking battle. That's why he got caught in the second round, because he's worried about the takedown. We know how this works. That's why this is MMA and not kickboxing, man.
Yeah. So first of all, on the Kavanaugh thing, Kavanaugh did say he thought they were way too defensive in their thinking during training camp, which is where the thought was of conserving energy. I mean, look, I give Conor credit. He had his butterfly hooks, and then he put his feet on his hips, keeping away as far as he can. If someone puts the feet on your hips and pushes you and you extended, you can do this shit all day. You're not landing. And if you are landing, it's super soft. You're not causing damage. That worked out well for him for about fucking 2 minutes, right?
There you go. That's the point is, most people that you're doing that to in your local BJJ class isn't a goddamn Dagestani bear. Like, that's not going to work on him for 25 fucking minutes, John Kavanaugh.
Exactly. And plus, it's not like a it's a fucking MMA fight. So everything comes together. But the other thing too with that was, and we actually have quite a bit of comments here, so I'll just get to that. Raider says Conor couldn't even get into his stance. It just showed how one-dimensional he really is. His footwork is horrible. He needed a tune-up fight badly. Do you think, Fred, that Conor should have taken a tune-up fight?
I mean,
or is the question, can he take a tune-up fight?
No.
I mean, those are two completely different questions. Can he? Probably not. Should he have? Probably so. I still fucking think the cocksucker just had a bad game plan. I really fucking think when he engaged Khabib in listen, it's like not exactly like it, but it kind of reminds me of Weidman and Rockhold. Weidman was doing just fine, and then a little birdie jumped in his ear and said, "Try a spinning back kick. we know you've never landed one before, but just try it." And moments later, he was getting tarnished. I don't know who the fuck told Conor to check Khabib's oil. But what in the fuck? Like, I feel like that was just the beginning of the end, man. I feel like he had no business trying to grab a hold of him. He should have pushed his head down, stepped the fuck back, and we would have seen something. But like, to answer the question, he probably should have taken a fucking a tune-up fight. But again, to answer the other part of it, I guess we can't do that with Conor at this point. He's like fucking, Eminem. He's too big to tour with anybody else. Like, you got to have a name. Right. You're not. Conor's not doing co-headliners or warm-ups at this point.
Right. What was going to see the other stuff? Frederick says, yeah, he did look bad, but how much of that was ring rust and how much was from Khabib's pressure, Jesse?
I would give it a lot to the ring rust, definitely, and Khabib's game plan. I mean, you could almost split it 60-40, man. I mean, Khabib's game plan was solid, but like Fred said, I mean, there are certain times in that fight where you could see that Conor was thinking too much about how he was going to get taken down, if he was going to get taken down off of this strike or off of that. And like Fred said, he got caught flat-footed and got leather on his chin and got put down. And that's all because he's thinking about things too much, And but again, I mean, it's also the opportunity that Khabib had to put that pressure on him and able to throw that strike in that space and not get countered, although he almost did get laid out by a knee after that by trying to jump at Conor. Yeah. But, again, there's, like Fred's saying, there's so many times in this fight where you could see where Conor was just, instead of reacting or doing, he was thinking. He was thinking about, getting taken down or throwing something and maybe thinking about it and then not doing it. And that was a problem, definitely.
Look, also on the same token, man, let's take a moment to just give Habib, you know,
It's due,
hey, it's the reason the motherfucker's undefeated and ain't never lost a round. You know what I mean? Like, welcome to reality. This is why this shit ain't the WWE, dog. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, going into the fight, it's like, yo, Conor could do this, Conor could do that. Yo, Conor couldn't do shit because nobody else has been able to either. I'm one of those people. I feel like I see holes in Habib's game. I feel like he could get knocked out. I feel like maybe even Conor could if he would take the shit more seriously and be super urgent in that first round. But nobody gives a fuck what I think or feel. What happened is Habib did the damn thing that he's done to 20 fucking 6 other people. And now the cute prick's 27-0 with the fucking strap. And it is what it is.
Can I ask you guys if you guys will co-sign on this idea? I think the other thing is that Khabib hasn't had a rematch. And I think rematches are where you can really define people and how great they are.
Right.
You know, either if they're on the winning end and then the next fight they're able to win it again, because once you win a fight, you know, you have less stock in it. And Khabib, nobody's had a chance to go in there and try it again. And I think, like Fred is saying, I think if you give maybe Edson Barbosa, you know, Michael Johnson, Conor a second chance at this fight, I think they will perform a lot better because now they know what's up in there. And I think a lot of the mistakes they make in the initial fight, they won't make that second time around.
The problem is, though, most rematches happen because they constitute a rematch.
Because it's a close fight.
You got to win. Yeah. You got to win a round again. I mean, like, it's, you know, or unless you just win so many other fights that they're like, okay, fine, we'll give you the rematch against this dude that fucking trashed you once before. But I mean, even like the first fight with DC and John Jones, it wasn't exactly a thrashing. I mean, John won, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It was, you're almost hard to find what Conor did well in this fight, man.
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
Okay, so do you compare this then to maybe like Mighty Mouse Henry Cejudo, where it was such a blowout the first time that the winner of that fight just didn't think that his opponent would have anything for him, and probably thought he had a safe enough strategy to beat this guy, and this guy evolved and got better and learned from his mistakes and came back and did something different, even though he didn't win that fight. But whatever.
I mean, similar, but obviously different in that Henry Cejudo, you know what I mean? Like, Conor will be coming at this from a completely different perspective than Henry did. But I dig what you're saying. It's definitely a fight where the first fight wasn't even competitive. And then the second fight, the person that got trounced out actually came back and won. So, I mean, you know, anything's possible, I suppose. And Conor's got the name for it. But hold on. Before we get off of this, I know we got a lot of shit to talk about. We're probably going to be running out of time. The brawl. Yeah. Like, okay, so we've talked about the fight. Whatever. Conor got that ass whooped. We can only cut that cake so many ways. It is what it is. Now let's talk about all the shit afterwards. Let me just start off by saying I get it. Like, I know Jesse was saying that Habib should have thicker skin and shit like that, and I think what you're saying.
I didn't say that.
You didn't say that?
Raider said that.
No, Raider said that.
I'm sorry. My bad. I'm stoned. Okay.
Sorry.
And I do get that to a degree. I mean, all's fair in love and fight promotion, and before the fight, you can say whatever you want, but after the fight, it should be over. That being said, some people fucking don't look at shit like that. And again, I've said this before, man. I am not religious. I don't believe in God at all. But people that do tend to take that shit super seriously. And, you know, kids are another thing that people tend to not take. Shit ain't funny when you're talking about somebody's kids. I was saying before that Habib didn't have a kid. I was wrong about that, but he just had a fucking kid. His kid's like fucking 13 days old or whatever. But so until his kid gets a little older, his dad is probably that, you know what I mean? It's the closest thing that he has to a kid. So literally Conor dissed pretty much every closest thing possible that you could to the dude. And then let's face it, Dylan Dennis is the most hateable person on planet Earth. Like, I've always been Team Conor. I can't stand how fucking obvious the dick riding from Dylan. He literally even uses the same terms. He called him a Muslim rat. Like, we ain't been hearing Conor call this dude a rat for, I mean, God, shut the fuck up, man. That shit drives me crazy. I'm so fucking glad he jumped over the cage on Dylan Dennis. I'll tell you another thing. All this fucking crazy crybaby bullshit about how bad it is for the sport or bad it is for Habib. Nonsense. Nonsense. All of it. It was all good for everything. For everybody. Listen, nobody got stabbed. Nobody got shot. So now that we know all that, this was all fucking good. It's good for Habib. It's good for his legend. They're going to take the belt. Get the fuck out of here. They're not going to take a fucking thing. If anything, this made his star grow. Makes me want to fucking watch him more, doesn't it? I mean, listen, he fucking comes across. Listen, to keep it a buck, Habib kind of comes across as the dude that Conor claimed to be.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a Conor nut hugger.
Really?
But like, yo, Conor jumped out of the cage, right? Mm-hmm. And he ran up on fucking Jose. Conor's very smart. He ran up and yelled in his face.
Yep.
He wasn't going to attack him. Habib drop kicked fucking Dylan in the head and then went and fucking started piecing him up. Habib was not there to scream at them. He was there to fuck him up. Then Habib's homies jumped in the cage and started stealing on Conor. They are real Russian gangsters.
Hell yeah. Like, Conor talked shit to the wrong guy. Here's the thing. So in the post-fight show, I was like, it was literally like 2 minutes after the fucking brawl ended, on the pay-per-view ended, right? And I was saying, like, this is fucking awful. This is bad. This is whatever. Couple days to digest it. A few days to digest it. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't. No. It wasn't Detroit Pistons fucking Indiana Pacers brawling the palace shit. No fans got beat up. This was a fighter going after another fighter. This is a fighter going, all right, bitch. I know you know how to fight. Let's fucking go. You know what I mean? So I don't think it was as bad as I thought it was when it first happened.
Nobody got hurt.
No one got hurt. Yeah.
So that's so now we can look back on it and go, okay, no fans got hurt, no fighters got hurt. This was all good. Listen, it shouldn't be. We shouldn't be such disgusting, repugnant people. But let's stop fucking acting like we're not. Let's stop acting like we didn't love watching Conor get coked up and throw the thing. Let's fucking stop acting like we didn't love it when John Jones took a swing at DC and pushed that little white boy off the fucking, pushed him through the rails. Let's just stop acting like we don't enjoy this shit, man. My dick was hard as fuck when Habib jumped out of that cage. And when fucking the chaos ensued and I seen people attacking Conor, I started sweating. I jumped up. It was fucking exciting, man. I mean, let's just keep it a fucking buck. All the shit people are like, oh, it puts such a shadow over the whole event. Does it? Because I tell you what, it doesn't for me. Hey. I still know Habib dominated Conor. I still think that's super fucking impressive. And I think he's a motherfucker that you don't want to trifle with. Now, Tony Ferguson, I would suggest one thing. Don't bring up his religion or his pops.
Yeah, don't talk shit.
Understand me? Like, I don't think it really detracted from his performance in the cage at all. Why would it? I still acknowledge his performance in the cage. I also acknowledge the fact that him and his homeboys are kind of fucking nuts.
Yeah, you don't fuck with it. Like, no one's gonna talk shit to Khabib.
It's some Nick and Nate Diaz shit.
Exactly.
Really, like, it's like, yo, we wasn't playing, but it's like some real shit.
Dude,
like,
everyone
we wasn't fucking playing with you, bro. That's why we stayed quiet beforehand. But now that we're here, like, oh, Dylan, you're right there and you talking that shit. Like, I'm not fucking playing. I'm not fucking about with y'all. Like, here I come, homeboy. Let's get after it.
It's like that same people have been throwing around. Like, everyone thinks they're a gangster until they run into a real fucking gangster. Conor ran into a real gangster. Now you know Conor's not a gangster. Y'all can drop all that bullshit of, oh, he's a gangster. No, he's not. He's not. Yeah. All he knows is some Snoop Dogg lyrics and a fucking on a bicycle down fucking Sunset Boulevard in fucking California. Okay, he ain't no gangster. All right, you run into the real and fuck. I mean, what was the fact that his boys had his back that crazy? They jumped over the fucking cage to beat on that dude. That was just like, yo.
And even beyond the hyperbole of the gangster shit, just a real ass dude.
Yeah.
Habib, because look, man, let's keep it a buck too. That's the first time Habib's ever done anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Every other opponent that he smashed, he's been super respectful to. Been a little cute running that mouth while they fight, but afterwards he shakes their hand, shakes all the like. Let's not act like this how he normally acts.
Right.
He's just, The fuck, bro? Like
Right.
this, and again, this ain't cricket. It's not baseball. We're all
Right.
fighting and shit. Like these are alpha men of planet and women of planet Earth. Some of these motherfucking men and women, you don't need to come at like that.
Yeah, they don't play. Go ahead, Jesse.
And you know what? I agree with Fred. Like this is not a stain on the sport. What I did really miss about the whole event was them putting Connor the belt on Khabib in the octagon and announcing him the winner.
Yeah.
Because you know what would have been epic? And I think if I mention this, you guys will think of it right away. There's that what was it in WWE? There's an event where like they crown some champion and everybody's throwing beer and water into the ring.
Was it Andre the Giant or something maybe? Or they were throwing it at him on the way out or something when he turned heel.
Right, but do you see how that iconic moment, whether we remember exactly what happened or what, it stays in your head. Now imagine that moment inside the octagon where everybody's trying to throw stuff at Khabib. Khabib's accepting his title and everything. It was pretty awesome still when they were, ushering him out of the arena and, they're throwing the stuff at him right at the tunnel. That was pretty awesome as well. But like I agree with Fred. Before, a lot of people were like, whoa, who's Khabib? Some Russian guy. Oh, he's undefeated. Who cares? Now people care. Now people care about Khabib. Plus, if you tell me that they are going to rematch, you cannot say that whole thing is not going to be part of that promotion.
Dude,
that part is not going to be like the whole thing that they're going to show before they announce, Khabib Conor 2. Like this is just like marketing, like greatness. And think about this real quick, Fred, before you go. Conor is the best at marketing. That's what he is. He's good at marketing. Okay. Like Fred said, Khabib, he's just a real dude. That's it. Like you just can't mess with the guy. He's very stoic and he knows how to turn it on. And once he had it on, he was gonna go give it to everybody else. That wanted some. That's just the end of that.
Here's the thing. It don't matter who Khabib fights next. They using that footage. If he fights Tony next, they're still going to show him breaking Conor's jaw and flying over the cage just to give you a taste of how crazy this guy. He's a wild man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like we're going to see that footage for the rest of Khabib's career, dog.
Well, 100%. And usually the countdowns they use for these, like, I love the countdowns they do. It's almost like, I forgot what HBO does. Like HBO does one called 24/7 or did one called 24/7 for boxing. I always loved those because they were so well done. They did this one. It was called Bad Blood. All right, when Bad Blood 2 comes out for UFC 242, Khabib versus Conor 2, you're clicking it.
Well, and here's the thing, man. Imagine the conversations we didn't hear. And it's all on film. When they first got back to the back, you know what I mean? When Luke and DC are talking to Khabib and shit, like you're going to get all that. It's going to be good stuff, man. Like I said, if somebody had got hurt or killed or a fan or something, this is a different conversation. Hindsight's 2020. Nobody got hurt. This ain't cricket. I'm fucking here for it.
Can I just say something real quick? The thing that Brendan Schaub was talking about violence and all this stuff, he stole that from what's his name? Kareem Zidane. Kareem Zidane has been talking about how you cannot add politics and religion and family to a guy like Khabib. He's been talking about this forever. But credit to the fans, all the VIP fans, because I don't know if you guys saw, everybody that's in the VIP section had folding chairs with Khabib Conor, like this cool like little thing where they paid $5,000 for these stupid chairs that they could take home with them. Nobody threw a chair into the octagon. Nobody threw a chair at anybody. I mean, that's pretty impressive that, like you guys are saying, nobody got hurt badly. It was just a fight between a couple people, and security was able to take care of it. Now, there are some dudes that got laid out outside the arena. That's just morons. Drunk morons get beat up all the time. So y'all
every pay-per-view.
Yeah, every pay-per-view, that's bound to happen for sure. So,
yeah. No, I'm with you, dude. All right, real quick, I got quite a few comments to catch up on. Gary Cosin, your boy Gary in here saying, he's quoting Mike Tyson. He said, and I heard Mike Tyson said something like this. He goes, that post-fight brawl was worse than what went on during and after my fight. Fucking wrong, Mike Tyson. You ripped the dude's ear off, and then the fucking brawl afterwards was in the arena, outside the arena, in the casino, in the streets, No, Mike. It wasn't worse. You're an idiot.
Mike,
Go fuck yourself.
You bit a dude's ear off, bro. Get the fuck
there's
out.
no coming back from that. All right. Anyway,
like
and then Flying Brian, what's up, dude? Says those Russians are terrifying. I was only worried about civilians on fight night. In hindsight, it was pretty exciting talking about the whole shit that went afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, talking about trash being thrown to the cage, and then he disagrees about the footage being used if the fight against Ferguson goes down. Says the footage is only worth something against Khan, man. Fair enough. And then do you really want to see the rematch? Not right now. I don't. Maybe later on.
Not an immediate rematch. No, not an immediate rematch. I mean, I think we definitely need to see both of them fight at least one person. But soon, if Conor can get a win and Khabib gets a win, I think they'll do it soon.
Yeah. Oh,
real quick, Eddie, before you keep going, Joe Ingram 1. That's the YouTube channel. And the video is called Brawl Investigation: What Really Happened, Conor Khabib.
Oh, okay.
He has all the great angles. Go check that thing out. It has tons of views anyway, but it's a good video.
I'm gonna find that after the shows because I want to see all the angles and shit. And then Gary comes back, says the real state. Yeah, because I fucking agree with this dude now. The real stain on the sport was Stephen A. Smith giving his MMA analysis. I don't know if you saw it, but you know how when you see somebody you can fucking tell they're full of shit. Stephen A. Smith has mastered the being full of shit, while the hardcores, us and everybody that's been following this shit for a long time, can tell he's full of it. All the casuals are like, wow, Stephen A. Smith has been catching and has been learning about MMA. I'm impressed. Like, no, dude, he was so full of shit. He didn't know who the fuck Khabib was, but he only knows Conor because of the Mayweather thing.
Yeah. It's like hearing fucking Skip and Shannon talk about it.
Oh my god, that's so cringy. It's so crazy.
Wait, I'll never forget. What was it? Was it Skip that was like, yeah, he knows sumo wrestling, right?
Oh
sumo.
god, yeah, Nate. When he's talking about Nate, he's like, yeah, Nate knows the sumo. I'm like, what?
Yo, speaking of that though, somebody put something on Twitter or something. They were saying that I guess Dominic Cruz at some point during the Conor Khabib fight said that Conor was just trying to wear Khabib out when he was on the ground getting the piss beat out of him.
Yeah, he was. He said
I lost him with Dominic Cruz. He's just trying to wear him out. Fool.
No, but
get the shit beat out of himself.
I could have sworn he giggled after he said it though. I could have sworn he giggled after he said it because even Joe, I think Joe Rogan was like saying something. He's like Joe Rogan. You know, when you start saying something right after you got done laughing, Joe Rogan almost sounded like that. So yeah, no way.
Okay.
Hey, good to see you too, Brian. And then Raider says Khabib mid-flight on the fight poster. Have you guys seen someone? Somebody else did it first, and then Boss Logic took it to another level. It took Khabib's jump off the cage and put Air Khabib or something like that. And the Nike swoosh, and he's like, as his logo. It's almost like Dan Henderson using that fucking logo when he landed on Bisping. Dude, Khabib should 1,000% fucking do that. I would immediately take that logo.
Listen, Flying Brian, I love you, baby. I still disagree with you. I think this footage is relevant no matter who he's fighting because it makes him seem like a fucking wild man. I mean, you're not going to want Conor in there, but the footage of Khabib jumping the fence and jumping at Dylan Dennis and jumping into the crowd, just those visuals of him losing his shit. He seems, I don't know, he seemed human. You know what I mean? Usually he's so stoic and shit. He fucking pushed Conor through his mouthpiece. He seemed fucking pissed still. Like, that shit scared me, Jack.
Up until he got into the back and reminded himself that his dad was probably going to beat his ass when he got home.
His dad said that shit.
Yeah, that was a gangster ass comment too, where his dad was like, them sanctions will be nothing compared to what I'm going to give him.
Have you seen the picture of his dad like recently and then back in the day? Same exact like just robot stoic ass look. Like, oh man, Khabib's and Khabib said it. And by the way, Brian, it's Khabib.
I know.
I keep fucking it up though.
I've seen your fucking tweet. Just lose the K. We're all used to using the K at this fucking point. I'm trying to remember.
I blame Joe Rogan and everybody else keeps fucking saying that shit on every fucking video. It's Khabib, yeah. But yeah, the thing of his dad, it was like fucking great because even Khabib said like, my dad's not gonna be happy about this. He looks fucking scared shitless about having to face his dad. But Conor and a few thousand Irish, fuck him. But his dad, oh shit.
Quickly before we wrap this up, I seen something on Twitter where like an Irish paper had come out and called Connor a has-been or some shit like
A
that.
sham? They call it a sham?
Was that real? Just before we
Yes.
speak on that, so that was an actual paper, that wasn't like a fucking troll site or nothing.
Right, and then here's what I couldn't figure out, and before we keep going with that, here's what I couldn't figure out: whether it was like a reputable like newspaper or if it was like a tabloid. So
Right,
Jesse, right.
No, I don't know. I do know that a lot of people in Ireland are tired of Connor just because of his antics. So, I mean, the sentiment could be that, you know, they're probably glad that he got humbled a bit.
Man, that's pussy as fuck.
By the way, either one of you tried Proper 12?
Nah.
So I got to try a glass of it. Not the best thing I ever drink.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, it's a $30 bottle of whiskey, right? Like, I don't know what they were gonna get.
I went into it thinking about that, but people were like, you know, obviously Connor fans were like, "Oh, it's so good! I'm gonna drink this throughout the whole fight." And I took like a sip of it, and I was like, "Tastes weird." So I kept drinking it. I had a whole glass and nothing. I was like,
"All right, Eddie. Now, if I had a glass of that for you and said, 'Hey, we're just gonna drink this bottle tonight,' would you drink it?"
Would I drink it?
Yeah, no other options. Just saying, "Hey, we got to drink this bottle tonight."
Shit, dude. College Eddie would have been like, College Eddie would have been all over that shit. 32-year-old with kids and a chick. Like, nah, dude, I'm good.
Listen, what kind of day have I had?
Like a day where you saw Connor get beat up and you heard John Jones is coming back on the juice.
Yeah, get that Proper 12 shit out, baby. Fuck it. It's been a rough fucking day. Pour some rocks, Jack.
Oh fuck!
Irish horse piss.
All right. Let's move on to the next topic here.
Wait, we're not going to talk about the greatest fight post fight interview. Is that
fucking all right? So the black. Oh, we didn't even talk about the rest of the pay-per-view, but let's talk about that real quick because it's relevant for the next topic. Yeah. Derek Lewis taking his shorts off and then telling Joe Rogan my balls was hot was the greatest post-fight interview since Nate Diaz went off on Conor McGregor. Like, It was honestly the best. It's like, "Hey man, what'd you take your pants off?" I was like, "My balls was hot." "All right, man, you ready for the title?" He goes, "Title? Shit." Like when he said shit, I died. I was like, "Oh, fucking Derek Lewis for president," and then someone made the goddamn poster.
Listen. I hate to be the bearer of bad news and the black cloud over this whole little thing. But and just to keep it fucking funky, he was getting his ass whooped
badly
97% of this fucking fight. And he literally pulled a fucking Hail Mary out of his ass. And that actually, in a weird way, contributes to how funny the post-fight interview was.
Yeah.
If he didn't get that knockout, guess what? Him taking his shorts off means because then he would have been coming off of 2 sour ass performances, one of which he would have fucking lost drastically. In about 9 seconds, that motherfucker changed his whole world. Like, that was the most important flurry of his fucking life. He lands that one big punch, jumps on dude, lands 2 or 3 more punches, wins the fight in the fucking nick of time, and then cuts a great post-fight promo. And look at where we are now. I'll be a motherfucking son of a bitch if it never even a title shot. Quite frankly, I swear to God on everything I love, we're in the Twilight Zone. We got to be in the Matrix. I mean, it's just the damnedest thing I've ever seen. Not to mention, I know I'm just ranting here, guys, but fucking, does anybody think Derek Lewis ain't going to get the absolute piss beat out of him?
So,
I mean, that is I know I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. Because on that exact point, they've been looking for UFC 230, main event for fucking ever. They gave us Shevchenko Eubanks. Everyone went off about how awful that was. It sounded to us. It was. And so just on that note, Shevchenko Eubanks is off. Eubanks has been pulled for any title shot. Shevchenko versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk at 231 co-main event for the 125 belt. So, Yeah. Anyway, and so that now the new main event for UFC 230 is Derek Lewis against Daniel Cormier for the heavyweight title. Keep in mind, DC is going to be stripped once John Jones and Gustafsson make it to the cage. He'll be stripped of the 205 title. But and that's obviously two pay-per-views after. But Derek Lewis against DC, like you said, does anyone think that other than another kind of lucky overhand right? You know what I mean?
Wait.
You know, that outside of that realm. DC's gonna win this fight pretty handily, right?
Can I just say that this is exactly what we're gonna get, because the MMA gods are gonna piss on all our faces, and especially DC, because DC's gonna go in there and he's gonna be, as Fred would say, he's gonna get cute and he's gonna get knocked the hell out, and then that Brock Lesnar fight is gonna be off.
Yeah, and Flying Brian. Flying Brian breached it to it. He goes, dudes, DC could win for 24 minutes and then get slipped by Black Beast. How insane would that be? I would be thoroughly entertained. I really would be, because Dana White is hoping that like fuck that Brock Lesnar can fight.
I hate all of you.
What? That would be fucking great. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm saying I would laugh if it happened.
I'm threatening the most of you, as if that happens, I might quit watching this whole goddamn sport. I've been fucking done with it. I like Derek Lewis as much as the next guy, but he don't get to be our king, man. I'm sorry. He's not the fucking king, man. He's like a dangerous rook or a knight, but goddamn it, Derek Lewis does not get to be the king. I don't care if Donald Trump is the president. No fucking way. Hey. But you know what, though? You motherfuckers are probably right. That's how this sport goes, man.
Yeah.
Bigger than shit. He'll get lucky and land it. In 2019, we'll be looking at fucking Brock Lesnar beating the piss out of Derek Lewis and regaining the heavyweight belt.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine that? Like, we have Brock Lesnar juiced to the tits as our champion in 2019.
And quite frankly, Brock Lesnar is a nightmare matchup for Derek Lewis.
Oh, yeah. Derek Lewis get taken down immediately.
Nightmare.
Imagine this. Yeah, Brock Lesnar beats him for 24 minutes, and then Black Beast fucking knocks him out in the fucking last second. Like, it just becomes his calling card, right?
If he does that, I'm back on the ship. I'll be back. Fine, fucking Derek is the almighty king of all. If he starts doing this every fight, then fuck it. He's the new Minotauro Nogueira for all of me. But
imagine he does that shit. It'd be fucking hilarious. Dudes would have to start game planning for that. Like, all right, minute 24, get up and fucking run.
Listen. We're having a lot of fun here, but let's keep it a buck though. The fight with Ngannou sucked.
Yeah.
Okay, and this fight kind of wasn't great, other than the fact that Volkov was beating the piss out of him, and then he finally started the fight at the end. Now DC ain't really been in a boring fight. I don't think DC will let him do that. DC will push the pace too much. But
Anderson Silva.
Yeah, Anderson's quick, though. It's a different type of thing. I think DC will be able to get a hold of Derek and push the pace on him in a pretty extreme way.
Yeah, but I'm saying that was a really boring fight.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. But it was okay. Jesus Christ, Jesse, you're that prick that pulls the one. Yeah, that was the one. That was the fucking one. That was a little boring. It wasn't that boring as far as it fucking goes. Fucking Jesse threw me off my fucking. Derek Lewis is going to get fucking trounced, man. I don't see how he wins this fight. Look, yeah, that was my fucking point. The matchmaking has just gotten a little out of hand. First off, is this even legal? I mean, how can Derek Lewis do this? Like, do the medical suspensions just not count no more? Are they over? Can they just be overrode whenever they want to? Like, surely he was medically suspended by somebody. Goddamn, Volkov is like 7 foot tall.
Yeah. Fred, you can have a medical suspension, but as long as you're seen by a doctor and cleared by a doctor, you can fight.
Yeah, you can get cleared by a doctor.
There's the old magic loophole. DW just calls in Dr. UFC, get him the old one over, and he's good to go. Okay,
it's like his hand's no longer busted up, and his ovaries aren't fucked up.
Sure. Just don't CAT scan that left hand there, and okay, fine.
But the thing is that he will have to pass medicals for the athletic commission wherever they fight. So
he's a heavyweight; he'll be fine.
I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying.
I guess at the end of the day, I'm not going to be a crybaby about it. Derek Lewis gets a big payday before he actually gets the fight for the belt, which is kind of cool. He's more than likely going to get beaten, which I think he would probably even admit himself. And then at the end of his career, he'll probably say, I don't care anyways. I never wanted that belt. You can quote me in several different interviews. All I ever really wanted was that feta. So he's going to get probably the biggest payday of his career. DC gets to stay active while he's waiting on Brock Lesnar. And, you know, for all of us crybabies that didn't want to see that horse shit ass flyweight fight, now we at least get, you know, some blood.
Yeah. But we lost.
But we lost the reason that we were fighting for that main event. Like, because we still get screwed.
Hey, but that was fucking Dustin Poirier's fault. He got hurt. What are you gonna do? I mean, fucking.
Yeah, Dustin Poirier pulls out due to an undisclosed injury. Who the fuck knows what it was? Here's the weird thing, just on a really, really stupid side note. You know how USADA has said that they're not going to announce that people got popped until the investigation is over? Like, every time someone pulls from a fight now, they're going to assume that's what happened. Because I read that and immediately, like, I forgot who tweeted out first. I want to say it was the Kings guy. But after that, I saw Brett Okamoto tweet about it. And his mentions or in his thread or whatever, it was a bunch of like, oh, USADA. And I'm like, oh, motherfuckers, God damn it. But he's off. I don't know if they even bothered trying to find a replacement for him for Nate, and they pulled Nate off the card too. Now Nate comes out and says, "Hey man, it's cool. I'll wait for Habib." And it's like, bro, Ferguson.
You're not going to get that one, buddy. Yeah, I mean,
Tony Ferguson, right? It's hard. It's hard to say no to Tony Ferguson. Now here's one fight. And Flying Brian says Ian Kidd mentioned it. All right, but here's one fight where I'm in on it. I forgot his name. Dude from Florida, Masvidal. Masvidal wants in.
Isn't he at what 70?
I mean, look.
Obviously, real quick. Obviously, you couldn't make that fight at 230 because Nate's already been cutting down 155. But 231, 233. I
mean, listen, that works for me and works for most of the fan base. The question is, will Nate Diaz get up for that fight?
Right,
yep.
and
like, I don't know. How bad? What the fuck is going on with Dustin Poirier? Can we just reline that one back up? Like, I love these undisclosed injuries. Does he got cancer? Is he coming? What the fuck's going on?
Whoa!
What?
We cannot joke about cancer, sir. We may joke about no. Just because this month is Cancer Awareness Month, please let us be
pink. Wear your pink.
Yeah. Wear some pink and be respectful of the cancer, sir. Retarded? That's fine. At me, please. But not cancer, sir. We have strict guidelines here.
You know what? You're gonna get on a list like fucking Aaron did.
Well, listen.
You're gonna get on that list, bro.
We need to know what the fuck is going on with him. Does he got something wrong with his big pinky toe, or is his fucking ACL out? Because if it's fucking, if it's something that he's gonna be gone for a while, then we can forget about him. But like, if it's just a minor backup, then just remake that fight for the end of the year. Throw it on there with the fuck, whatever the fuck, like.
And the awesome statistic, I think. What was it? Fred's favorite reporter out there, Luke Thomas. I think he put it out today that the Diaz have never pulled out of a fight due to injury.
Ever. 67 fights, I think he said, between them, and never pulled out.
It's a pretty fucking sweet statistic.
Right. How about this one? So Brian puts out here, and I've heard this one get thrown out, and I think Gaethje already knocked it off because he said I don't take last second fights because I want to be 100% for any fight. Diaz versus Gaethje versus Justin Gaethje. That would have been all right.
I mean, again, that's super fun for us, but would the big question is Nate? Would Nate be down to take the fight? I mean, he's the star and he's the one that we really want to see. That's a fun fucking fight, but
right.
But he did take this Poirier fight, So I mean, I think
Poirier he can convince. Was on a hell of a run.
Yeah, I think you can make him, or you can convince Nate to make a lateral movement as long as it still puts him in line for like a title shot next or something. I think. Yeah, I think those two things are
the Diaz brothers are not about titles. They've had them, but they're not about them.
I will say this: in this world that we live in now, if Tony Ferguson gets into a fight with another fucking group of wires, I wouldn't put it past the UFC to throw old Nate in there. Fuck it. Listen, again, I love Derek Lewis. He shouldn't be fighting for no goddamn. He said him goddamn self in his panties on broadcast television. on pay-per-view in his panties. He said, nah, I don't want that fight. I just barely went these 3 rounds, Jack. I don't want that. And not only are we going to give it to him, but we're going to give it to him in like 22 days. What the fuck is going on, man? And you know he's going to take it. It's going to be worth the money. Like people go, oh, I can't wait till we hear Ariel Helwani asking him these big questions. So, Derek, you just got the piss beat out of you by a 7-foot fucking Russian. What made you want to come back 25 days later? Money.
He'd never ask that.
Cash
He'd
money.
never.
Like, what the fuck? It's simple why this is happening. You know he's getting the bread thrown at him, but like, you know, man.
Damn it, Fred. You know Ariel Helwani would never ask such a good question like that. He'd be more like, hey, do you still like Popeyes? Is that going to be the sponsor for this fight? By the way, can I just say that I saw his little rant about everybody's to blame? How come he didn't blame himself for the freaking stuff from 229? All right? The media is also to blame, people, because the media is the one promoting, you know, oh, hey, Khabib, Connor said this about your people. Let me play this recording for you. What is your opinion on this? He has part in that, so whatever.
I could be wrong about this, but this might be another statistic. Is this the first time the 2 black dudes have fought for the heavyweight belt in the UFC?
Damn, what about John Jones and Rashad?
Not for the title, not for the heavyweight title. No.
Not for the heavyweight title.
Oh, the heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I can't think of anybody else, but
well, have we had a black guy that's
the champion
been on a run like that? No.
Yeah, that's what I was just sitting here thinking. I definitely don't think we've had two black dudes who have fought for the belt at heavyweight.
I don't think 2 that above the belt, but I'm not 100% sure. I have to go look back in the 90s.
Again, I don't mind touching this because everybody can kiss my fucking ass, so I don't give a fuck if I ruffle up people's feathers. Derek Lewis is a real black man. You know what I mean? Listen, that's why we like him, because he's not John Jones or DC, with all due respect. Derek Lewis is the real fucking deal in that regard.
We'd love to hang out with Derek Lewis.
Yeah, Derek, for real, what the fuck? Yeah. Derek Lewis throws the barbecues that the white people get invited to. You know the term, you're invited to the barbecue? Derek Lewis hosts that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Can I just say, the saddest thing is that we're going to miss out on Derek Lewis on Joe Rogan's podcast Getting High. We missed out on that.
No way. Wait, how far is 231 from now? Or 230?
It's literally like a month from now, ain't it? Like 3 weeks, 4 weeks? I mean, it's like right around the corner, man.
Okay, yeah, you can't smoke weed, Derek. Sorry, we don't want to fucking. You saw that opinion.
Hey, listen, weed hides in your fat cells. You understand me?
You big boy.
All due respect, DL. You got a few fat cells, brother.
Yeah, man. Shit. Real quick before we move on to the next one. It's a good question from Brian. It says the question is if Diaz is pulling himself from 230 for real, or is he aiming for more money to fight someone at 230? I think if Nate gets pulled, it's because he got pulled, not because he pulled himself. So I'd be with. I'd agree with that. He's just sitting there going like, "Look, pay me to fight somebody." Then, if not, take me off the card.
He probably always angling for more money.
100%. He should be, but he got pulled, right? Like they pulled him. He didn't pull himself.
Yeah, the UFC specifically said that they pulled Diaz from that card.
How scared is Dana White of the Diaz brothers being successful? That's some bullshit. But you know, that's another topic for another day.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
Anyway, all right. So that's it for 230. And again, Bullet versus JJ in Toronto are 231. What's up?
Any other standout things for you guys from that card? Because I honestly got to say that I thought that co-main event was a crackerjack of a fight.
That was a great fucking fight.
Upsetting that people are really downplaying Pettis' performance in that fight, saying that he got obliterated.
Who the fuck said that?
A lot of people are saying that.
They didn't watch the fight. They're fucking stupid.
And that Tony Ferguson's the next greatest thing, and it's not true, man. He was in a fight. He was getting pieced up, and it was a fight.
Dude, Pettis was landing fucking well, and then he fucking dropped him and broke his goddamn hand. Which, by the way, shout out to Rufus for keeping his fighter safe. Okay,
I'm glad we decided to talk about this.
Here we go.
There's a bunch of different moving pieces with this. Yes, Anthony Pettis deserves credit, man. And I was saying this going into this fight. I feel like I still feel like this. He's one of the most naturally talented strikers and grapplers off of his back in that division. Duke Rufus absolutely handled that situation properly. And before I get to that, let me also give Tony a shout out. I can't stand Funky Tony, I have long since been a critic of his, but the cute little fucker always wins. And the fact that he got thunderstruck almost speaks more to his performance because it shows that he can get the. I mean, he got thunderstruck in the fucking Lando Banana fight too, right? I mean, you can knock the fuck out of this guy, and the ugly fucker just won't go away. And not only does he not go away, he usually comes back and fucking finishes you. So, mad props to dude, man. He is a funky individual and a very, very good fighter. On the other hand, again, Duke Rufus did the perfect thing. He left it up to the fighter and said, either way, I got you. You know what I mean? If you want to go back out there, I'm cool with that. Let's game plan. If you don't want to and you don't want to go out there missing one of your main tools, I respect that too. Anthony decided to not go out there. This is where it gets dicey for me. On one hand, I get it. And I'm just a shitbird loser sitting on my fucking couch talking as he's in the cage with one of the most dangerous human beings on earth going out there with a broken hand. I do get that. That being said, you're a very good kicker, Anthony. And these moments are the moments that could define everything for you. And you've had this dude rocked in this fight. Worst come to worst, you throw a couple Showtime kicks, you miss, he takes you down, you give him your back, right? He's going to choke you out, you lose the fight. I don't know, man. I feel like he should have got off that fucking stool and came out and at least gave a Hail Mary with a kick. Who knows? Maybe Tony Bob's when he should have weaves and you head kick him and knock him the fuck out. And then where are we sitting today, right? You know, Derek Lewis ain't the only one that pulled off some bullshit there at the end. It was possible. It was possible.
Everybody at Kirby_MMA for your hateful tweets.
Oh, please.
For that. Me, Fred, you're right. As a fighter, most fighters would go out there. But you got to remember, Duke Rufus told him, I can't send you back out there minus your main weapon. And he's the one that decided and made the decision to stop the fight. He asked Anthony, no. Go back and listen to it. He asked Anthony, do you want to continue? Do you want me to stop this fight? And Anthony did not respond. He didn't say yes. He didn't say no.
Well, right. Exactly.
And Duke Rufus took the decision out of his hand and just did it for him. And you can ask a ton of different coaches. Sometimes you just got to save the fighter from himself. And he understood that his fighter was compromised and he did the right decision.
Can we all admit, though, that maybe Anthony's right hand isn't his strongest offensive weapon?
Sure, but
so it's not like he was Mike Tyson in there, man. I feel like he's dangerous with his kicks. In a worst case scenario, he could have given up an easy takedown. I know you'd have all the little cunts out there that'll be like, "Oh, he just gave up his back," but it's fuck, he didn't even get off the stool. I mean, I hate to be this fucking guy, but do y'all remember when Uriah Faber fought Mike Brown with elbows?
Yeah.
Do we all go back that far in the sport where he was both his hands was broken, he fucking swung like that for round 4? And listen, he didn't have a snowball chance of hell to catch a dude, or did he? You know what I mean? You don't know until you fucking never know. Now he didn't catch him and ended up losing that fight, but you just never know, man. You never know. I don't hold it against Anthony, but I think history will. And I think when we look back on Anthony Pettis' career as a fighter, a lot of people will look at points like this and say that he folded when things got tough, which won't necessarily be fair to him because he's taken a beating and he's a very tough guy. But there's these random spots like this where I think history is not going to be kind to Anthony Pettis because of these things.
It's possible, man. And obviously, we won't know till we get to that point. But I don't know. I just like that Rufus pulled him. If he felt like Pettis couldn't win or couldn't fight effectively, and look, he's his coach. He's the one that knows, So we'll never know. You're
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Exactly.
If you sent him out there, there would have been a bunch of people going, "Oh my God, how could you do that?" And then if not, you got a dick like me that's like, "Oh, glory, no goods. Let's go for it." So he did the right thing. He ultimately left it up to the fighter, and when the fighter acted hesitant, he made the right decision. Absolutely.
Definitely. All right. How far was we going to talk about? Real quick, because we're running out of time. Bellator 207 and 208 is this weekend. 207 on Friday, 208 on Saturday. Yeah. I think 207 is, let me pull it up because I have it right here with me. 207, Matt Mitchell versus Ryan Bader to get one of the finalists for the heavyweight Grand Prix. Co-main of Roy Nelson against Sergey Karitanov.
Karatanov, what the fuck? Sergey, right?
Wow, this is the first time you out fucking pronounce me, so good job. Baby Slice is in the car. Lorenz Larkin is on the fucking car. It's gonna be it should be a pretty solid show. Your prediction, Kirby, who's gonna win this main event?
I mean, you gotta say Matt Mitrione. I gotta say, I mean, you know, yeah. Bader's not a real heavyweight. I suppose anything can happen. Bader's definitely game, but I'm gonna side with Meathead being the natural heavyweight. Although Meathead is a dummy and he do be getting hit a lot, it wouldn't surprise me to see Ryan fucking land a stiff one on him.
Yeah, it'd be possible. Jesse, who are you picking?
Ryan Bader. I think his wrestling is pretty good, very very good actually, and I think. I just worry that the size might be a disadvantage, but he's a pretty big guy anyway, so I think that he might be able to overcome the size with his wrestling. So yeah. Bader.
I like Mitrione. I like Mitrione in this one. I think Bader. Look, Bader is I'm pretty sure he was All-American in college at Arizona State, so in wrestling, so he's great, and he showed a bit of an evolution, even though he's getting older, of having pretty good hands. But I like Mitrione, man. Size, power, all that. And again, fucking, what do we know, dude? Who knows? I've been wrong like 3 times already in this fucking tournament. Yeah. So all right, and then that's Friday night. Saturday night, we get the Emperor and the what did Chael Sonnen call himself? The bad guy.
The bad guy.
The bad guy and the Emperor. Fedor Emelianenko against Chael Sonnen for the other finalist spot. And then the co-main event is what the fuck? Bellator, you garbage ass website. Benson Henderson against Saad Awad. Alexander Shemenko is on the card, as is Czech Congo and Tim Johnson still fighting. What the fuck? And yeah,
Bellator, I see you.
Yeah, they're picking up.
But look at Bellator, spoken like a true side chick. I'm excited to see you this weekend, Bellator.
Anyway, Fred, wow. your prediction between Fedor and Sonnen.
You know, listen, man, I don't see a way that Chael wins this fight, which means if you're a betting man, go bet on Chael. Because I don't see how he holds Fedor down, but every time I say some bullshit like this, it's somehow or another Chael Sonnen will come out and out wrestle fucking Fedor for fucking 25 minutes. But I assume eventually Fedor knocks the shit out of Chael.
All right, Jesse,
I would assume.
Yeah, Jesse.
You know, normally I like to be a contrarian, but I just can't, man. I can't. I probably couldn't even say Chael wins without like laughing afterwards. So, it's Fedor. I mean, he proved it. You know, with this fight against Matt Mitrione. He still got power. He still got pop. So I just don't see how Chael doesn't fold under that. So, Fedor. Or
all right.
How are you supposed to say it? Fedor.
Fedor.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right. I'm taking Chael P. Sonnen. All right. Why? Because fuck it. All the favorites. I wanted to pick Fedor, but no, I've been fucking picking wrong. So I'm gonna go the other way.
Okay.
And I think Chael Sonnen could catch him. He could hold him down. Who knows? But this tournament's been fucking wacky from the start.
You know what? Listen, man. Being honest about this, on one hand, it's like, oh yeah, I don't think that Chael, but like, yo. Maybe not, right? This is a different fight now. Like,
Fedor's not the same guy that he was in Pride.
Yeah, you know, the more and more I think about this, actually, realistically, maybe Chael could hold Fedor down. Is Fedor? Do we think that he's going to armbar Chael? Maybe, but like, and I know. Everybody, calm down. I realize Chael has been armbarred, but like at this point in the game, getting armbarred by Fedor from the guard, I can't see it. I can see Chael getting the takedown though. Yeah. And, you know, the cute little pricks only got to get 1 or 2 takedowns per round, and Fedor will get tired. I doubt it, but, like, actually, now that I'm giving it some fucking actual honest thought, Chael could fuck around and pull out a lay and prey on Fedor, man. And just, I mean, Fedor's kind of old and shit. Like, maybe if he hurts him, pulls a Habib, you know what I mean? Catches him slipping and tags him one good time. Maybe.
Listen, the only thing is that we'll be watching, right? We'll be watching And if you want to watch it live, go on DAZN. Don't go to Paramount unless you want to watch it 3 hours
Hold
later.
on, real quick. Are you right on that? Are they gonna like dual broadcast that shit or whatever?
Yeah, simulcast on DAZN. Yeah.
Simulcast. Thank you. All right. Cool. I guess I'll watch it on that because I don't want to wait 4 hours.
Not really simulcast because obviously you can't watch it on Paramount at the same time. But yeah, finally they're fixing their problem. But real quick, if you get a chance and if you get bored on the undercard on Saturday, Combate Americas is having their event on DAZN as well, and their main event is Amanda Serrano against I don't remember her name. It escapes me. Their main event before was Goito Perez against John Castaneda. He had to pull out because he had staph infection.
Who?
And so John Castaneda.
Okay, that's what I heard. Yeah.
And so now they bumped up Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano, badass boxer. Her last fight, it went to a draw. It was just a knockdown, drag out fight. So it's going to be an exciting main event. So check that out if you guys get a chance in between watching Chael Sonnen and Fedor.
There you go. All right. We got nothing else. You guys, Jesse, you got a question?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to ask you guys. I don't think I've asked you guys before, but give me a street fight story if you guys have been in a street fight. I know Fred over there is a lover and not much of a fighter, but
man, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Growing up where Fred has grown up, I'm sure he's been in his scuffles before. So
yeah, okay. One time we got into a Habib Connor Irish Russian type brawl thing. We were at these little projects. I forget what they were called now. And I will say it was me, James, another dude, and like 13 black guys. It was like fucking 2:30 in the morning. And this SUV, it was like a cul-de-sac, like a one-way. So when you pulled down, there wasn't no way to get out. We were like at the end of it. And this like white SUV pulled up to like at the very top of it. And this big white boy got out and started taking a piss. And there was this little dyke broad with us, like a young M.A. almost. Like if y'all know who that rapper chick is, looked just like a little boy. And she went, "Hey, put your little ass dick away." And they got in their car and they drove down, and it was fucking two white dudes and a couple broads in the car, and they were drunk as fuck. And there was literally like fucking 15 of us out there. And I remember there was a big one and a little one, and the big one got out, and like fucking 8 people surrounded him. And I remember him just talking about being a Marine. And he was going like this, and he was talking about how fast he could knock people. I'm gonna knock out everybody like this. And I remember my dude John grabbed him by like his collar like that and hit him. And when he did that, y'all ever see like the old cartoons? And it's just like a bunch of fucking scuffles, and you just see like hands going in and out. Immediately, it turned into that. And by the time I looked back to the little one, it was like that with him, and I had to just like kind of reach over to grab the little one, and I just kind of started tagging him from behind where I could get a hand in on him. And eventually their chicks got out of the car and was like, "No, please stop."
Oh fuck, the visual is amazing.
More like a beating than a street fight, but that was the last thing I think I can remember.
The guy who does those like cartoon, he put the animates the Rogan podcast. I wish he was watching this shit because I would love to see that animated. Just Fred reaching in to get a hit in.
Listen, the best part about it, the little small one, they were college boys, right? Like little frat boys. Oh, so he was wearing a UD hat. Somehow or another, at the very end of the night, that hat got knocked off. At the very end of the night, we got dropped off at my buddy's house on the other side of town, and we were finishing up the beers, and he was wearing that little kid's hat. And then I looked over and I was like, "Where'd you get that hat from?" He was like, "Oh, that's that little dude's."
Just kept it.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, when fucking plenty growing up. I was a fucking hot-headed, thin-skinned kid until I realized I was stupid. But I think the last one that I can remember that was actually not super lame was a bar fight in Tempe, like over by ASU. It was just like, oh no, there's a better one. When I was at U of A in Tucson. Okay, I was down there for 2 years for school before I graduated. Anyway, so we go down there. Me and my friends are drunk as shit walking back to our house, right? and we walk right in front of a fucking frat house, and they're
Always
having a
the
huge
fucking frat boys every time.
Right. It goes either because they're stupid, but here's the best part: is like we walk across right by it. No one's outside; they're all inside partying. It's a lot of shit, and there's a girl sitting in the front, out of her mind, drunk, and she has her phone upside down. And one of my friends noticed it. He's like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "I'm trying to," and she's drunk as shit, like out of her fucking mind, drunk. Like, "I'm trying to get home, but I can't figure out my friend's number." So we call. Basically, they have this program down there to get people safely, like college students that drive these vans and cars that will pick people up and take them home safely. You know what I mean? Instead of having to call a cab or whatever. This is way before Uber. So we call them, and then we're waiting for them. And this frat boy comes out, sees us, starts yelling at us, like, "Hey, fucking, that's one of our bitches. You can't touch her." And we're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, this is some rapey shit going on. Whatever. Like, dude, we just called her a cab. Relax. We just called her Safe Ride." And he's just like, no, she's at our party. She stays here. Mind you, I'm me. We have a guy who's trained longer than I have in anything fucking with us, and he's fucking hot. He's a big time hothead. And we have this 6'1" dude that's a friend, right? This little motherfucker is like 5'7", walks up to the 6-footer and starts talking mad shit, right? And he's so drunk, he's saying stupid ass shit. And my friend goes, "Look, man, what are you, like 5'6"? And the little guy goes, "What does that to do anything with?" And starts fucking talking shit. He goes, "You know what? I'm gonna get 60 of my brothers to come out here and whoop you guys' ass." And for some reason, I lost my mind and I go, "You're gonna eat all 60 of those motherfuckers. We're gonna kill all of you motherfuckers." And like that's when my friend grabs me. He did that one hold me back moment. Except he's actually strong and he could hold me back. He grabs me, starts dragging me back. I'm like, "And another thing, I'm gonna fuck kill all you motherfuckers." Like we're just going off. All his brothers spill out, and they all come out, and it was like us three, the chick drunk as shit still on the now she's like laying down on the cement, passed the fuck out for me so drunk. It's us three and like a fucking handful of fucking frat boys about to fucking brawl out, and like their leader comes out, and it was one of those weird ass like like in those old ass any like Game of Thrones type movies, the king comes out and everyone drops to a knee. Like their head guy comes out and everyone just stops and like puts their hands behind their back and like in military style, like at attention.
What the
and they stop, and he comes out and he comes right to me. He goes, "I apologize for our drunk friend here. Nothing's gonna happen. He will be sanctioned for this." And then that guy just puts his head down and like he knew what was gonna happen to him. Walks right back in the frat house, followed by all these motherfucking frat guys. And this guy comes back up to the leader guy comes back up. He goes, "Hey man, really apologize. If you could just not report it to the cops, it'd be great." Yeah, don't worry about it, dude. He walks in, right? So, of course, the next day I do a little bit of research. Turns out that frat had gotten busted before for like fucking like roofing girls, fucking underage drinking, and a bunch of this shit. You can imagine one more phone call to the cops was going to shut their shit down. So that was just like one of the dumbest things ever. It was one of those things where you like, when we're walking back to the door, by the way, we did wait for the young lady to get picked up. But as walking back to our house, we're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Like, I wish I had a video camera for that. So it was crazy. But that's mine right there. You got one, Jesse?
Yeah, I actually do. If you guys don't know, I do deliveries for a diaper company, and I think it was either the first or second year I was doing deliveries. We had deliveries down in like the Compton area, which if anybody knows about Compton, those areas, not the nicest places.
No.
And I was doing a delivery to a house, and as I turn onto their street, there's a car in the middle of the road. Two Mexican dudes, kind of like screwing around with the car, blocking the road, basically. And I mean, there was enough for me to get by, so I started getting by them. And one of the guys, asked me, "Hey, can you help us move the car? We need a push." So I was like, "Yeah, no problem." So I kind of inch over to the side, and as I'm starting to get out of the van, one of the guys like is getting really close to my door while the other guy is trying to like circle around the other side to kind of like cut me off. And so I get out, and the guy I don't know if he was reaching for something, but he kind of like does this motion where he's kind of reaching for his pocket, trying to move forward. And the only thing I do initially is just, my first reaction is to just defend myself. So I elbowed this dude in the jaw. So he goes down, pretty nasty sounding sound when he hits the ground, and his buddy just takes off running. So then here I am, I'm like 2 houses away from my delivery. So I go over, deliver my stuff, come back around, make sure these guys are like gone or whatever, and take off. So I don't know what happened to that dude. I hope he didn't die or anything, but serves you guys right.
Jesse landing the nasty standing elbows.
God damn, with the Compton shit, man. Fuck, don't fuck with Jesse, man. He ain't fucking around. All right. Anything else before we go? What up?
What is that? Send me location.
Send me location. Oh, that needs to be something. They need to market. They need to market that somehow and like make some money off that shit. Send me location, like something.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, boys. It's fucking 8. Well, it's 8 where I'm at. It was way later for you.
It's 11:30 almost here, boys.
There you go. And I gotta get moving. So, all right. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We had everybody in here today. Appreciate everyone that tuned in. Flying Brian making an appearance. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Gary Coaston was here. Raider Jeremiah was here earlier. Frederick was hanging out. Johnny Bones only left one comment. He said Johnny Bones the rightful champion. All right, dude. And yeah, everyone else that fucks us, we appreciate it. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the show. Fucking leave a comment, share the shit, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Tell your friends about us. All right, we just fuck around like this every week, so it's always for fun. All right, you can follow Kirby at Kirby_MMA. You can follow Jesse at Ep.118. I'm at Ela31. The show is at Keyboard MMA. Represent repthewarriors.com. Get yourself some gear and spicespros.com. Y'all the shit. All right, guys. Catch you guys next week. Good night and good night, Wilshire.